method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently. We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake up. This is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, give me just a second to get everything set up. I was actually sending out the links. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so 5 minutes ago, let me share my screen. Hold on. All right, there we go. Sean Combs said, hold on, did I skip something? Hold on. I'm gonna go back to that. Hold on. I think there might have been something before it. There was a video that I wanted to show you all that Matthew posted. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Y'all know I love me some loyal royals. Okay, and so that being said, let's see who all is in here. Okay, Anita Harrell, Claudette, Dangerous, Terry Henn, 504 Nola, Perplex. All right, thank you guys for returning. Okay, Terry Henn, We the People, Khalid. All right, let's get into it. Deronda, D Major. All right, talk to me, I talk back. All right. In my own headspace. All right, Lawyer is here. Just anticipate. All right, Cherry Red is here. Okay, let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button, beloveds. We'll be back at it in just a second. Okay, Pink Envy is in the house. So Adrian is here. All right, beautiful Rosebud. Okay, Shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Y'all know I love me some you. Okay, we have MDC Forever Enlightened in here. All right, let's get into it. The enemy's public. Okay, so before we get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so Diddy has spoken. Now, this all transpired. Okay, they took the comfort break 34 minutes ago. And then Diddy spoke 18 minutes ago at 4:06 p.m. saying they're back. Sean Combs stands at the defense table. One of the hardest things, this is what Diddy says, one of the hardest things I've had to do or I've had to handle has been having to be quiet and not express how sorry I am for my actions. I don't take that lightly. I would like to apologize to Cassie Ventura and her family. Now, this time he's saying Cassie's name because if you remember the prior apology, at the end of the day, he was not allowed to say Cassie's name because when he made that settlement with her, they agreed that they would not say each other's names publicly or something like that. That's what was reported, at least. Okay, so that all being said, hold on, let me pull this up on my phone real quick, and then we'll get back into it. Okay. Okay, so he goes on to say he would like to apologize to Cassie and her family. He says I apologize to Jane for bringing you into my mess. I would like to apologize to all the victims of domestic violence. I know that the disgusting video triggered people. I was sick from the rugs. I needed help, but I didn't get help. I knew better. My faith taught me better. I'm not this larger than life person. I'm just a human being. I'm trying my best. I lost my freedom and the opportunity to raise my children and be there for my mother. I lost all of my businesses. He says, I hate myself right now. I've been stripped down to nothing. I want to apologize to my 7 children. I'm so sorry. You deserve better. To my mother, I feel you taught me better. He says, I let down my community. I wanted to show that we could take care of our own problems. I got lost. I'm not this bad person. I'm sorry to my community. I let y'all down. People can change. I know I've changed. Sometimes you have to go through life experiences. These are not excuses. I can't change the past, but I can change the future. I beg your honor for mercy to be a father again, to be a son again, a leader in my community again, to get the help I need. All right, so that was from 10 minutes ago. Now let's scroll back up. Scroll back up because I saw another one from like 5 minutes ago. Where's that other one that I just saw? There was at least one more. Hold on, beloveds. That's interesting. Where did that go to? Okay, so he begged the judge for mercy. That was 16 minutes ago. Okay, I'm going to scroll through here carefully because, like I said, there was a video that Matthew posted that I wanted to see. He maybe posted that a couple of hours ago. I don't know why I didn't see it when it came through, but hold on. Okay, so let me just refresh the page. I hate they leave these comments. It's just so annoying. But shout out to Matthew because without him, where we get our receipts. Okay. Okay, here we go. Show replies. This prosecution is something else. I'm still thinking about them talking about Diddy was a whole pimp. That is so crazy. That is crazy work. Okay, so it looks like that's the last one. I could have sworn I saw another one where he said, I beg your honor for mercy. I thought I saw one where he was thanking the judge. Hold on. Ugh, let me see here. Okay, I don't see another one loading after that. Okay, I don't see another one loading after that, beloveds. But hold on, let me just check a couple of other things to see. Rashid talking about it's coming. Okay, Reverend Minnie Dickerson says, listen, everyone do wrong and we ask for forgiveness, and he did that, so let us not judge this man. I agree. That's for the Most High. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. At the end of the day, that's for the Most High to judge all of us. Okay. Oh, sheesh, let me see some here. See, somebody did a longer stream than me. Theirs is like 7 hours, honey. It's gonna catch HE double hockey sticks. Getting somebody to watch that. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so Inner City Post, it said the judge is about to give a sentence in the case, and a significant sentence is required. I'm trying to figure out why I'm not seeing this. Hold on, let me see something here. Okay, maybe this is. Okay, here we go. I was about to say, what the hell's going on? Okay, so first off, like I said, there was a video. Where's that video at? Oh, I know what I did. Hold on. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have clicked on that. Hold on. Let me go back up. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here we are from 12 minutes ago. Let's start there. Make sure I didn't skip anything. Okay, so from 12 minutes ago, here's what they say. Uh, oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. That's the other case. Okay, so here we go. From 2 minutes ago, listen. The judge says a significant sentence is required to deter. You say you're sorry and you won't do it again. After Miss Ventura's civil lawsuit was filed, after the video was public and investigation started, you had a brutal hotel night with Jane, punched her to the head. This is the judge saying this. Then he says, Jane says he told her, take this pill, do out there, or it should be go out there and suck this, and okay. Now the court is not convinced this would not happen again. The court has considered the programs. They are outweighed by the trial record in this case. Here comes the judge with the BS. I want y'all to pay attention. I want y'all to pay attention because here comes the judge trying to justify his bull crap. So he says that a significant sentence is required to deter. Whew. Y'all better brace for impacts. Let's see what it's gonna say. Uh, very interesting. Hold on, let me see something here. Okay, we gotta go to CNN. Hold on. We gotta go to CNN. Because this is taking a minute. I can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah, the appeal is definitely coming. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. I got it. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so let's see how far I need to scroll down. Okay, so here's what they say. I'm gonna go all the way back to before Diddy. So okay, hold on. Mr. Combs begs the judge for mercy. Okay, he says, addressing the judge, Sean Diddy Combs said, people can change. I know I've changed. He said, sometimes life events changes your trajectory. Sometimes no matter who you were before you were shaken, it just changes your trajectory. It just changes you and it changes you for the better. Sometimes you have to go through life experiences, he said. These are not excuses. I can't change the past, but I can change the future. Okay. The next one says, I don't have nobody to blame but myself. I ask your honor for a chance to be a father again. Okay, we read all of that. He went on to say that he learned his lesson and will fully comply with whatever conditions the court imposes. He says, I don't have nobody to blame but myself. I know I'll never put hands on another person again. I know that I've learned my lesson. I'm willing to comply with any conditions that the court puts on me. Given a chance, when we talk about the possibility of me sharing my story, it's not just a scheme to try to get less time. It's about this, it's that this story is real. This story is tragic, he said. It certainly is. Okay. While addressing the judge, Sean Diddy Combs thanked the jury that sat through his 2-month trial. Your Honor, Your Honor gave me the confidence to believe in the jury and to believe I didn't have to testify. The jury came and sacrificed their time in the summer. They sacrificed time with their children, and I thank them for the not guilty verdicts. He says, I don't take lightly the Mann Act conviction, my Mann Act convictions. The charges Combs was convicted of 2 counts of transportation, we already know. He says, I understand the severity of it, and I'm having to deal with the consequences, and I take full accountability and responsibility. Now I know the prosecution wants you to make an example out of me. I just want you to think about making an example of what a person can do if they get another chance. If you give me another chance, I won't let you down. And the evidence of that is those beautiful children that got up there and spoke for me. He took a moment to thank his children who spoke on his behalf in today's proceedings. He said, I would never, ever, ever jeopardize being in this situation again, being away from my family that needs me. That's my deterrence, he said. Okay, Judge Arun Subramanian is addressing Sean Diddy Combs directly now. He says, wants to start by making clear that Combs being sentenced for the offenses of conviction, the Mann Act charges, and not the trafficking and racketeering charges that he was acquitted of. Okay, he goes on to say he has considered the fact that Sean Diddy Combs is a self-made artist and businessman who has inspired and uplifted communities and noted that his work and impact are celebrated and iconic. He said Combs' successes are even more impressive given the struggles of his childhood. The Ruggs may have exasperated your erratic and violent behavior over the years. However, the court has to consider all of your history here. Okay, that's what the judge said. He doesn't have to. That's what he wants to do. I want y'all to pay attention, okay? And I can pull up the receipts if you need me to. Now, Judge Arun Subramanian told Sean Diddy Combs that his work history, hold on, I'm gonna skip past all this. I need to get to the juice. Okay, these are the last 2 updates. Diddy sentenced to just over 4 years in prison. Sean Diddy Combs has been sentenced to 50 months or just over 4 years in prison for his convictions on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Okay. So he got 4 years. Now, the question is that going to be including time served? The judge did say initially that would include time served. So he's going to have 3 years. So Jay was right. Jay did say 36 months. Isn't that what Jay said? Isn't that what Jay said? Okay. Adrian said 4 years, Queen. The judge is asking any recommendations on where to serve the sentence. They're doing that Monday. This is all juicy. What do you all have to say about it, beloveds? What do you all have to say? Let me know your thoughts. That's not so bad. Okay, it's not the best, but it's not so bad because 3 years. If he's sentenced to 4, okay, he's already done what, 13? So what say you? So he has like 3 years and 1 month to do. I do believe about 3 years left. Okay. He needs to be released as Perplex. He shouldn't be doing that. 4 years with time served plus parole, he'll be okay. DJ Big Six said appeal, please. Miss Ann's, hold on. Says ask Trump for a pardon. Miss Asha says, ask Trump for a pardon. Well, you know, that's likely what the defense is going to do, beloveds. That's likely what the defense is going to do. Hey, but listen, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. Hold on real quick, beloveds. Let me change my thumbnail. So, what do you all think about this? Perplex says, somebody get Trump on the line. Okay. Hold on. Well, listen. That's not so bad. Okay. I want you all to look on the bright side. It's not so bad considering the fact that Diddy was actually facing he was actually facing up to 11. Okay, please pay attention. That's not bad at all. All right. So, I'm gonna tell y'all something though. I knew that they were about to issue the sentencing. That's why I closed out that broadcast, because I don't want anybody to have to be sitting up here waiting 6.5 hours or fast forwarding like crazy just to find out the sentence, honey. Okay, so now, thank God we ended that broadcast and started this one. All right, now I'm going to go back and read some of the stuff that we missed. Just give me a second to change this thumbnail real quick. Okay, there we go. All right. With that all being said, Greta said, Roddy, you called it. D Major Skelly said, federal is 85%, I've heard, but even with that, it could still be worse. Okay. EL said, good job reporting. I was scared he'll throw the book at him. Right. That's like I said, that's not so bad. Okay. Considering. And thank you, beloved, for your kind words. I appreciate you. Okay. Casey Prime says, this judge think he is funny. He gave Diddy the same amount of time Trump will also have left the White House in. Now I want y'all to pay attention. You're absolutely right, beloved. You're absolutely right. Okay. And thank you for your contribution to the channel and your insight into the topic. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. But let me tell you all something. Do you all remember I told you all that? Do you all remember that when they started talking about Trump possibly giving Diddy a pardon? And I told you all, I said the judge will probably try to give Diddy enough time so that Trump will be out of office. But here's the thing. This is all nefarious. Like, I want y'all to pay attention. Hold on. What's this here? Let me see. Hold on. So let's go to what the judge exactly said. The judge said the court is not assured if Sean Diddy Combs was released, if he was released, that these crimes will not be committed again. He said that the acts of sexual violence are unfortunately common, and a substantial sentence must be given to send a message to abusers and victims alike that abuse against women is met with real accountability. Judge Arun Subramanian said Sean Diddy Combs' actions were serious offenses that irreparably harmed two women who still feel the effects today. The conduct occurred for over a decade and with tremendous frequency over that time period. Why did it happen that long ago? Because you had the power and the resources to keep it going, and because you weren't caught. That's what the judge said. Okay. So Sean Diddy Combs has just been sentenced to 50 months or just over 4 years in prison for his conviction on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. All right, so that's 4 years and 2 months. The judge also imposes a $500,000 fine on Combs. In addition to prison time, Judge Aaron Subramanian also imposed a $500,000 fine against Diddy Combs. Okay, Sean Diddy Combs. That's the maximum fine that he can order. Subramanian noted that this was an upward variation from the guidelines, but said he was taking into account Combs's immense resources, which enabled his crimes. Judge, you were taking into account your racism and bias. That's what that was. That's my opinion. The judge said he was taking into account. Listen, at the end of the day, this man was taking into account his own racism and bias. That's my opinion, like I told y'all. Okay? Please pay attention. So let's go to some news reports because I know that they have some at this point. All right, with that all being said, we can exit out of Twitter. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Hold on, beloveds. I'm going to mute myself. I'm about to call someone real quick that's there. We're going to go to the Associated Press. Hopefully they'll be seeing something in a minute. Now let me see what anybody else is reporting. Okay, so surprisingly enough, I don't see anybody talking about it as of yet. I'm waiting to see what they're going to say. Rosa's daughter said all that crying that was done, the judge didn't pay any attention to that. Pink Erie said not ice on the judge. Okay. Flint Water said he may not have to serve all of it. C Major said all y'all talking about ice need to sit down. Sherry Red said they're basically making Diddy pay for the trial using the city's tax money. Special K talking about somebody called ice on the judge. Well, I guess that, considering what he could have been facing, that's just not so bad to me, though. 4 years could have been better, but at the end of the day, that's not so bad.
case, the violence, the extreme nature of the behavior, the length of this behavior. It happened over a decade with multiple victims, and all of that just was not enough to supersede him saying that he now feels remorseful for this, that he is repentant. And earlier in the day, the judge also said that he just wasn't fully convinced by the narrative that Sean Combs and his team have been saying.
CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman, thank you. We want to go back to Jerika Duncan, who's outside the courthouse. Jerika, they're always in these high-profile trials, people who gather around, who kind of come and pick sides. What has the reaction been in the wake of this sentencing?
I think you have people that have been out here, some that support Combs and are saying things like free Diddy. And then you have folks who are advocates and wanted to see him face some serious time. An attorney that I did speak to did make clear, though, that a lot of times in these federal cases, people don't necessarily serve the entire time. So again, Combs has already been behind bars for a little over a year. Then there's, I was told, 15% off for good behavior, sometimes 15% off the sentence. There's First Step Act credits to consider. There's a certain percentage that you can do for halfway house or home confinement and possibly additional time off for drug treatment programs. So in the end, we don't know exactly what that really looks like in terms of how much more time Combs will spend behind bars. But again, this judge trying to send a message saying that what he did was wrong and that he did believe the credibility of those women who testified. Court just adjourned, but I want to leave you with a couple of thoughts from the judge. He looks over at Combs and says, you are going to get through this. There is light at the end to help people like him. You will have a chance, he says, to show your children and the world that accountability and change is possible.
Jerika Duncan from outside the courthouse, excuse me. Jerika, thank you so much. We have more breaking news. This is on a second topic. Hamas just responded to the proposed peace plan that the president and Israeli prime minister put forward earlier this week. Some of the terms, including the release of all of the hostages, have been agreed to. Let's bring in.
Okay, so let's go back to this other report. Okay, so he's probably the judge did initially say that he was going to grant Diddy time served. So right, East meets West said sounded like he did Diddy a favor by giving him jail time. Okay, he just said 500,000. What are our tax dollars? What are our taxes paying for exactly? So didn't the lady just say that he can get like Ivan Curry said, no, ma'am, the judge didn't grant Diddy for time already served. That's a lie. Well, the judge said that. The judge absolutely has said that prior. He may not have said that today, but I'm saying that's what he said prior. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because 4 years, didn't she just say that he might get good time and all that stuff or whatever? And then like, did she say something about 50%? What did she say, you all? They have to, I think they're going to give him time served. That's what the judge initially said when I was at the trial in the courtroom. Okay. They said something about the judge giving him credit for time served. I literally heard the judge say that. Okay. John said he has to do 42 months on a 50-month sentence. That just depends. Time served is going to take away like 12 months out of that. That's going to take away like a year. Okay. So with that all been said, and here's the thing, if he does 85% of the time, that'll just be 3.4 years. Okay, 3.4 years, take off a year, and that's 2 years in some months. Okay?
Welcome back to AP News live stream of the Sean Diddy Combs sentencing. 4 years and 2 months. That's what he got.
Hold on, let me pause for a second. The LW Experience said, Queen, you know the prosecution is truly upset now. They wanted more. Yes, they did. Okay, they did. And here's the thing. Even if he serves 84% of that, like I said, that's only going to be like 3.4%. If my calculations are correct, and I think they are, and then if they take away the time served, okay, Pink Emmy says she said 85% to 15% for good behavior and less for a rug program. Okay, and we already know. Here comes somebody that's there at the court. Hold on.
And Mike was there when it all came down. Mike Sisak, our AP reporter, in the courthouse with Diddy.
That's right. Our colleague Larry Newmeister is in the courtroom, was in the courtroom as sentencing was unfolding. I was watching on a monitor from the press room so that I could give you the updates right as it was happening. And yeah, this sentencing was the culmination of a long day in court for Sean Combs and also a long day in court for everyone involved in this case. While we did not hear from the victims, the accusers, Cassie, Jane, and other folks in court today, they did write letters. They did express to the judge their interest in not seeing leniency for Sean Combs. And in the end, Judge Arun Subramanian, he found that while prosecutors were asking for too much, they wanted 11 plus years, that there needed to be a significant sentence to punish Sean Combs for crimes that involve violence, that he said involved coercion, and also for the totality of what he said was 15 years of conduct. The judge acknowledged that, yes, the jury in this case had a split verdict, that the jury convicted Combs of 2 counts of prostitution-related offenses, but acquitted him of the more serious charges, sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, those counts that could have put him in prison for the rest of his life. However, the judge said that he was sitting there in court listening to Cassie testify, listening to Jane testify, and that he had to consider the behavior and the totality of Combs's character as he year. So that means he could be released in about 3 years when he's 58 or 59 years old.
Right. So he did spend 13 months at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. So that counts towards his sentence of 4 years and 2 months. And then after he's let out of prison, he will be on a 5-year supervised release program. And the judge also asking his attorneys, where does he want to go to prison? And his attorney's saying, I'll have to get back to you on Monday about that. Is that typical where you get a choice of where to go?
Not a specific choice, but judges can make recommendations about where in the country a person could be incarcerated. The ultimate determination is made by the federal prison system, the Federal Bureau of Prisons. But since Combs has his home in the Miami area, the judge could recommend a prison within the state of Florida or within the Southeast. The Bureau of Prisons typically will put people in institutions that are within 500 miles or so of their address to make it easier for family to visit, for friends to visit. That said, sometimes due to the conditions of a particular inmate, the needs that they have, they might not get those accommodations, that proximity to home. But we'll see what the defense asks for on Monday as it relates to where Combs will be serving this time. For the time being, he will be going back to the jail in Brooklyn, the Metropolitan Detention Center, and he will be going to prison for at least the next 3 years. Again, because of that time served, he will not be free. His lawyers had asked for 14 months, which essentially would mean he would be immediately released from incarceration or released within a few weeks once his time was completely served. There was an interesting wrinkle in the proceeding today where a prosecutor noted that Sean Combs has already lined up speaking engagements or teaching engagements, 7 of them through the remainder of October in the Miami area to impart wisdom that he says he's learned while incarcerated. Prosecutor said that was the epitome of hubris, and his lawyer said that was not their intent. They simply wanted to demonstrate to the court that Sean Combs has things lined up, things to do, and that he wants to take a positive message out of his experience with the justice system. However, given this sentence, he's going to have to cancel those appointments for the time being. But at the MDC, at the jail where he is in New York City, he has been teaching a class to other inmates called Free Game with Diddy, and he may be continuing that now at whatever institution he ends up at.
So to recap, okay, the prosecution wanted him to spend 11 years in prison. The defense, his lawyers, wanted him out basically immediately. They were asking for 14 months, and they had booked speaking engagements for him. But the judge kind of split the difference. I mean, giving him 4 years and 2 months, somewhat of splitting the difference. I mean, the judge had said that, I don't take this lightly. You have to pay for your crimes, basically. I mean, you were convicted by a jury of your peers, and, you were convicted of prostitution-related charges. You're not just going home with your family. You're going to go to prison, and you're going to do, in the judge's words, am I quoting him right? Hard time. You're going to do hard time, but you're going to come out and you'll be a better man for it. And he's 55 now. If he's there for 3 more years, he'll be 58, 59, depending on when his birthday is. So he will miss a lot of birthdays of his children, a lot of special occasions of his children. He's got a 2-year-old. He'll miss a significant amount of her life. But the judge said, you will come out and you will still have a life.
Yeah, and I think there's an interesting, several interesting things about how the judge arrived at this sentence. Judge Arun Subramanian seemed very moved by the testimony of women who were in court on the witness stand. Cassie, the R&B singer, Cassandra Ventura, the former longtime girlfriend of Sean Combs. And a woman named Jane, who also testified. There was another woman named Mia, who was a personal assistant, who was going to appear in court today and make a statement, but decided not to, in part because she said she felt intimidated by the defense team. He factored all of that in, and he went through a whole litany of things that he considered as he arrived at this sentence. He said he factored in comments that were made in court today by 6 of Sean Combs'
Okay, so you all, I'm trying to get somebody to join the stream, somebody who's there to give us some insights, okay? So I'm going to drop the link when I see them enter the chat, but let's continue.
7 children. You mentioned the 2-year-old daughter. She, of course, did not speak. He factored in letters that he received from people in favor of leniency and people opposed to it. And he also factored in how other cases, similar cases, have been sentenced, what other defendants in this similar circumstance have received. However, he noted this is a very unique case with a very unique defendant, and he had to also factor in other things regarding the things he heard in this trial, in this case. Now, he noted that his sentence of 50 months, or 4 years and 2 months, is less than what was recommended by the probation department. In every criminal case in federal court, the probation department prepares a pre-sentence investigation report, and that helps guide the judge on where to arrive at a particular sentence. In this case, the judge said his sentence that he imposed was 10 months less than what probation officials had arrived at, and even less than what the federal sentencing guidelines would suggest for a case like this. Now, prosecutors, again, they wanted much more time. They wanted 11 years and 3 months. They pointed to some of the very same factors that the judge did in him imposing his sentence, including the violence, including the domestic abuse, and including the power and control that Sean Combs had over the women who ultimately came and testified against him. And one final note, as he was concluding the sentencing hearing today, which went on all day in federal court, Judge Arun Subramanian praised Cassie, praised Jane, and praised the other women who came forward to tell their stories. He said that these were horrific stories, but stories of courage, because they came forward to stand up to a very powerful person. And they not only told that story to the 12 jurors in the courtroom, but also, he said, to millions of women around the world who might be suffering in silence in their own cases of domestic abuse.
So after a long day in court, proceedings started at 10 a.m., Sean Diddy Combs learns his sentence at the end of the day. The judge giving him 4 years and 2 months in prison. The judge saying he's sentencing him to hard time. And also the judge, imposing a fine, I believe, a $500,000 fine. And then, Combs has already served, as we said, 13 months in jail in Brooklyn. That'll be taken into account. So that'll be part of the 4 years. So it'll actually be out in 3 years when he's about 58, 59. The judge telling him, you have a life after.
And just one more quick point. This is not the end of the road. This is not the end of the case. Sean Combs can appeal the verdict, can appeal his conviction, and his lawyers have said they will do so. They have 14 days to file a notice of appeal with the Second Circuit Court of Appeals right here in Manhattan.
Thank you for joining us. This is AP News, live stream of the Sean Diddy Combs sentence.
Right. All right, so that's not so bad. The judge is full of bull at the end of the day, but that's could have been worse because the probation department wanted him to do they suggested 7, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so I got rid of Ivan Curry because he was being nefarious. I don't know who that person is, but they said F those kids. Nah, that's what we're not gonna say. If you want to say F Diddy, go ahead. Because Diddy made his bed, he can lie in it. But at the end of the day, we're not gonna say F nobody's kids on this channel. That's what we're not gonna do. Okay, you can go. He must not have been here when I said that earlier. Okay. Kane said appeal will be won fairly easily. I absolutely agree. Most haters said the judge is a hater. I also agree. Okay, I also agree, beloved. So with that all being said, listen, Miss AP said not bad at all. Right. It could have been better. They could have just let him go home today with time served, but we knew that wasn't going to happen. Okay, we knew that wasn't going to happen. So if we, like I told you all, if we factor in Diddy's likely going to do two years and something. Okay. If he got 50 months, right? That's 4 years, 2 months. Then if he serves 85% of that, like I told you, that'll be 3.4 years. And then if you take away the 13 months that he's already been housed, actually it hasn't been 13 months. It's only been 12 because he was actually there since September the 16th. And then, so this year, September the 16th, less than a month ago, that's a little over a year. So take away the 12 months, and that's going to take it down to 2 years and some months. Okay. And y'all know time passes quickly. And also you can get time off for good behavior and stuff like that. So also if you take a rug program, which his attorney said that he's already been taking, they've been having somebody come to the jail to see him or whatever. So if he enrolls in that, he'll get more time off also. So it's really not so bad. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. That's right. Kevin said he gets 2 months of good time credit. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, beloved. I'm waiting to see if my friends are gonna hop on here. They're at the courthouse. I want to hear what they gotta say, honey. I want to hear what they have to say. Let me drop them the link again. Well, I tell you what, I'm glad that it ended today, that we got the information today and didn't have to wait till Monday. I'm glad we didn't have to wait till Monday because I'm telling y'all right now, I would have passed out just knowing that my friends are at their party and having a good old time. Now they all got to come back tomorrow. And I know that's because they already bought their tickets to come back tomorrow. Okay. They were talking about changing them when the judge said, oh, we might be here for 2 days. So they're right. That was such a hater of me, right? That was such a hater of me saying they got to go home tomorrow. Everybody go home now because the queen's not there. Retired Federal Bank said the best court news on YouTube. All right. Thank you, beloved. I tried. Thank you. And thank you for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay. Kane said he'll be home in 19 months. Okay. Roddy said Diddy's 60 till the day you leave this earth. I hope you are a changed man. I hope so too, beloved. Queen said, Queen, you are so nefarious. I know, I'm clearly hating on them, okay? But I already told them that this morning. I literally already told them. Oh, James is in the studio. There he is. Hey,
Oh,
beloved. How you
okay.
doing? Let me see this.
Okay, here.
Hey, how you doing, boo? These are
I'm
my
good
friends,
too.
James R. Sanders and Sherlon. Hey, beloveds.
Okay.
So what's going on? Y'all
Hey.
look to school. Y'all look so nice. I'm so
Okay.
jealous. Y'all know I'm still married, right?
I know. Okay, yeah. So your little debating friend was here too. He was. You know your
What's
little
up, Bernie
debate.
Brown?
Yeah. Yeah, your little special friend. We know how much you like him. Love him.
Yeah,
Yes.
not.
So exactly. So as you know, court just let out, and Puff just got what, 50 months? Yeah, 50 months, which equivalent is like 4 years with time served. Right. And
Okay.
so yeah, and so I think that one thing that he does when he passes his decisions is he always uses like things that were said in the past to justify his decisions. And I don't necessarily know how I feel about that because it could be taken out of context.
Right.
And but one thing I did like was he didn't reference Mia at all. And I thought that that was a good thing because Mia was not attached to any of his current charges.
That's what I said. Right.
Charged with 2 counts of what was it? Prostitution.
Yeah.
Violations of the Mann Act. Yep.
Right. And so
Transportation to engage in prostitution.
right. And so it was really for us to even have to hear from her
Right.
was, not necessary. And I do
Mm-hmm.
think that, in terms of, white women, which are America's crown jewel, it's very easy for us to see them as victims. But Black women, as Malcolm X has said, are the most disrespected individuals in the world. And
Thank
it's
you.
hard for us to picture them as victims, which is why when his children, were crying, it was
Mm-hmm.
really hard for us to to see them as victims and to have sympathy for them, even though they were on the stand crying and pouring their hearts out. And I don't really think that I can't speak for the judge, but I'm assuming that that didn't resonate with the judge as much as, the letter from Mia did and the Cassie Ventura thing and the Jane thing did, because, they are not necessarily Black women. They are ethnically ambiguous.
Right.
You know,
Right.
as his children are Black women. And even
Mm-hmm.
though we're on the mic crying, it's very hard for America to see them as victims because, America has a very hard time seeing Black women as victims.
That's right. I just had to boot
That's just
somebody
how
out of
I
the
feel.
chat. I just had to boot somebody out of my chat for saying F his kids. The
Yeah,
same
that's
thing
a
Tisa
problem.
Tell said.
No,
Okay, the same thing that we all know that Tisa Tell said. Okay, how you gonna say F somebody kids? If you hate Diddy, that's one thing. But the kids are innocent. They don't have anything to do, especially those beautiful girls.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's how I feel about that. And, I think that 50 months is a little harsh. It is. And
mm-hmm. I agree.
I think but I do understand what you were saying, Queen, about what was it? Not necessarily what was the word? Appealing. But
Appealing.
but you know more about like case law than I do.
No,
So
I was just saying that if in federal you have to serve like at least 85%. So if he serves 85%, then that'll be 3.4 years minus the time served. Because remember, the judge told us at the trial that he was absolutely going to get time served. So he's
okay.
been there like 12 months, a little over 12 months.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
that'll end up being like 2 years and some change.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I still think it's a bit harsh because again, the domestic violence piece is a civil crime, and it's the fact that it's being taken into consideration for me. While I do not agree with that, I do not advocate for that. I am, a defender of victims of that.
Right, exactly.
Not something that was, he was being charged with. I
Right.
necessarily, think that it should have been taken into account. However, clearly I don't have a say. So,
Right.
no, that's how I feel on that. So,
Now, lawyer in the chat, beloved, says that federal halfway houses, that equals good food, and you can come and go privileges for work, and you can own an automobile.
I think that there were several different options that could have worked. I think that the
Hmm.
fact that those options were not offered up, it was because they did not want them to work.
Yeah.
There are always things that, can be done. And if they are not
Hmm.
done, it's because they do not want them to be done. I think that in
Right.
the past, other people who were being charged with things who were of another hue had other options. And the fact that those options
Definitely.
were not being offered again, it is because they did not want them to be offered. So,
Exactly. Okay,
but
here's the thing, beloved. Somebody has a question. Okay, Joan says to ask you, how did the family act after the decision? That's a good question.
it was very quiet. It was very quiet. It was eerily quiet. You could tell that they were noticeably upset about not being allowed to, not knowing that they were not going to have access to their father, which is something that they wanted to have and had pleaded with the judge. The same way, the quote unquote victims pleaded for justice, quote unquote, you know
Right.
because while we have to take into account that the victims wanted justice, the family wanted justice as well, which is having access to their father, and now they will not have that.
Yeah, I think Kathy got Cassie, not Kathy. I think Cassie got justice with that $30 million.
I'm just wondering. I think that there are a lot of things at play here,
Mhm.
and I just have to wonder how justified, from a perspective of what's right versus what's white in terms of politics, where how
Mhm.
far and how fair this was. So
Right.
I encourage all of you to read my coverage, which should be coming out as soon as I can write it, which is why I
I was
cannot
gonna ask you that.
which is why I
I
cannot
definitely.
hold you. I do need to run and actually type
Okay.
this. I am on deadline. Um,
Okay.
so I gotta run. But I thank you all for caring enough about what I have to say.
Shout
Um,
out your channel, beloved,
but
and
thank
your
oh
podcast.
yes. Check out my YouTube channel, which is James R. Sanders, all one word, and check out Charlene. My Substack is Charles X-Rays. You can check me out. Spell that, girl, because your accent is heavy. X-Rays, R-E-Y-E-S. Do it again, because I was talking. Charles, Sharls X-Rays. Now she's from Trinidad,
Okay.
so make sure y'all, if y'all gotta rewind that, do it again. And as always, y'all
She's from
continue to follow.
Trinidad, but she's from Trinidad, but she doesn't have a colonized mind like Martin, who's also from Trinidad. Please
Oh,
pay attention.
oh my
Okay,
God,
and
y'all. And
she did tell me that I flamed him. Ha! Thank you,
she
beloved.
sure, she sure did say that. And as always, y'all, please continue to follow Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, because there really is nobody quite as brilliant and quite as intellectually and spiritually woke. She really is the
Thank
queen
you.
for a reason. And I am so blessed and lucky to call her friend in real life. Amen.
Thank you,
And I
beloved.
have
I
the
feel the
and I
same
have the
way.
receipts to prove it, y'all, because she keeps me on the phone for hours at a time.
I do. I do.
Yes. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I'll talk to y'all
All
later.
right,
Bye.
love you. All right, love
All right,
y'all.
bye.
Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. All right. Okay, so that all being said, Judah says, so true, love, so true. We love the queen. Thank you, beloved. And y'all know I love you all right, black. Okay, I do. I absolutely do. J love the queen. All right, said exactly. Thank you. Okay, now, we the people said they gave him some time because the opinions and publicity of the case had everyone split down the middle due to the facts and opinions. That could be true. Keisha said he stayed fly. Doesn't he though? Honey, he's been a celebrity stylist and all that. He's a journalist and all that stuff too. I'm definitely going to share his link to his articles that he's going to write on this with you all. Okay, Nicole said, good job, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay, listen. With that all being said, You know, it could have been better, like I said, but it's okay. 2 years is going to go by quickly. All right. 2 years is going to go by quickly. As far as I'm concerned, we all know that time flies. And at the end of the day, you know, as long as the prosecution didn't get what they want, that's good with me. Okay, 11 years, they could sit down somewhere. They need to take that L and go rest with it. All right. I know they're mad. They're gonna cry in the car. And some other people are mad too, going around here lying, talking about, oh, he's gonna get 20 years because the Diddy haters was trying to attack me. Girl, nobody tried to attack you. Sit down somewhere. Okay. Sit down somewhere at the end of the day. Lady E said the Queen's fire. I love his analysis, spot on. Okay, thank you. Nicole said he won't be 60 yet, so he's good. Right. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this broadcast. Lord, we've been here for an hour already. Who knew? Time really does fly. I thought we'd been on here for like 25 minutes. Okay, so anyway, listen. I appreciate you all so much because we were on that last live for like over 6 hours, which is crazy work. Okay, now it's 5:26. Now y'all know I usually go live at 6. Can't do it. I'm tired and I'm hungry, and y'all probably need a break too. So with that all been said, I'm gonna go live in the morning, beloveds. I'm so tired, but I promise you, when I go live tomorrow, I'm gonna make it around. I would say around 11:30, 12, somewhere around there. Okay. And so with that being said, MDC Forever said, great show, Queen. Thank you, beloved. I sure appreciate you all. Listen, I love you all to life, and thank y'all for rocking with the Queen. Y'all are the greatest, okay? The Loyal Royals are the best, bar none. And I have the most nefarious chat on YouTube, and everybody knows it, okay? Deronda said, real black media. Thank you. All right, so that all being said, listen, you all enjoy the rest of this day. Now, listen, if there's anything that pops off, like some breaking news, tired or not, I'll have to come dragging myself back, okay? But hopefully it won't, because I'm really tired. But I will be on here tomorrow, so we're going to talk about Al Sharpton, the scoop that I have for you all about him, and I'm going in hard in the paint on Trump, so be ready for it, okay? And I'm bringing all the facts and the receipts, all right? So make sure you tune in for that. And if there's any nefarious stories that are trending, we'll talk about those too, okay? So everyone enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
Yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the Queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the Queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the Queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got